Today on the Motherhood Network, as part of our Women's Month celebrations, we celebrate mothers in business, and our guests Nomazibulo Tshanga and Rechelle Kloeck embody resilience, vision, and the power of women leading with purpose in both business and motherhood. Nomazibulo Tshanga is the founder and CEO of Ziana Business Consulting and Training, an executive coach and a transformation advocate. She's passionate about building value-driven workplaces, advancing women in leadership, and empowering youth, a true force in both corporate and entrepreneurial spaces. Rechelle Kloeck is a dynamic entrepreneur, devoted mother, wife, and passionate wellness advocate. After facing hair loss and gut health challenges due to a second pregnancy, she turned to collagen, transforming her well-being from inside out. This inspired her to launch Motherkind Co. in 2018, a brand rooted in healing and authenticity. We are honored to have both these powerhouses in business with us today. The Motherhood Network, a platform you deserve. Are we rolling?
Are we rolling?
Okay, action. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us on the Motherhood Network.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you, such an honor.
Oh man, as well. And I'll tell you why. You two ladies are powerhouses when it comes to business. What I love most is how proud you guys are of being mothers as well, and that's at the forefront of everything you do. And it's so fitting that you're here at the Motherhood Network. I find you guys such inspirations, just as, I know lots of mothers look at you and just see what you do and how you do it with heart, And so we're going to take it back. I always love taking it back to, find out your story. How did you guys become the woman you are today? So Rechelle, if you can please just explain the journey, just as to who you were.
I think every single year you become more and more of a woman that you are. So for me, definitely having my children was a huge part of who I am, and even the business I created. A lot of it stemmed from when I had my kids. So yeah, I've been lucky and fortunate enough that my business has, I feel, allowed me to still also be the mom that I need to be. And I think being a woman, and especially being a mom, you do feel like being a mom is your first job and your first number one priority. And even though sometimes it's hard and sometimes you feel guilty for not being there in certain things, you do try and revolve your life around being a mom.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to delve a bit on your business and how it all began. But Noma, what an amazing story. Eastern Cape.
Yeah.
This powerhouse.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Where did it all begin? It began in the Eastern Cape, and from parents that are both uneducated. And I like to share the story that my dad finished up to high school, never matriculated. My mom finished to primary school because she studied in the farms, and therefore there were no opportunities for her to go to high school. And then they both went to PE, of course, separate times for different reasons, coming from the rural areas, which is the outskirts of Port Elizabeth, now Kloeck, went to look for opportunities, city of opportunities in the Eastern Cape. And that's where they met. And they then got married, and then they had me. My name meaning firstborn, given by my dad. So that's where it all began. It began with humble beginnings, right? And having an understanding of who I am in the bigger scheme of life, right? So yeah, that's how it began. And but one thing I really appreciate about my parents is the fact that they were both advocate for education. Like my dad and anyone that, grew up with my dad in his era can tell you that my dad was like extremely clever. He did Maths Olympiad and stuff like that, but unfortunately he had to drop out due to taking care of because he's also an elder at home, so he had to take care of the siblings. So with that mentality, he really pushed us to the limit and showed us that, in order for you to achieve anything, it first has to start with you believing in yourself. So he built such confidence and created an environment that was conducive for me and my sister to thrive in. So that's the type of environment that I grew up in.
Sure.
Not educated, but highly educated. Not sure if it makes sense.
I love that. Yes,
Yes.
it does.
Yes.
Because there's just life in which you learn so many lessons and you
Yeah.
educate yourself as well. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
formal education. You're so
Yes.
right. And so I think something that I love about both of you guys, and it's so important for our mothers out there, because I think people see these figures and think, oh, I could never be a mother like that. It's not tangible, it's not attainable. But I mean, I look at you, Rechelle, for example, who I've known from a personal perspective, and you were somewhat introverted when I first met you. And an interesting story is that you were selling your collagen at the back of a boot. When people talk about I started selling my products at the back of my boots, you really did that. I was there to see it. And I remember you coming up to me in the morning saying, hey, would you like to try my product? And I thought, oh, this is great packaging. Okay, never heard of it. Don't know what it's about,
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you see this product everywhere. I mean, I cannot begin to tell you, everywhere, from a commercial perspective. That's so beautiful just to see your rise and your trajectory. And of course, our kids having gone to the same school and now seeing this past of a woman, an entrepreneur. But people don't know your story, where we see you now speaking so confidently and owning your story. But you were somewhat an introverted young lady. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think for me, when I started, especially started Motherkind, I was a bit nervous. I was a bit scared. I was scared to go out and speak to people. I was scared to talk. I was scared to really put myself out there. And when you're selling a brand and a product, especially in now's times, it's so important to put yourself out there, to educate people about what you're selling. So I think for other moms or other ladies out there, to see where I came from, it's nice because I honestly, I had to learn. I had to learn the journey. I had to learn year on year. I got better. I got more confident. And now I'm able to come here and talk on your podcast with you. But I remember, it's actually a sweet story, and obviously it involves you. But I remember literally, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago at one of my first events I hosted, and it was actually here at the Houghton Hotel. Nandi, she was my MC and my host, and even for me just to introduce myself and what I do was so daunting. I was like petrified. I was petrified. And I remember telling Nandi 2 days before, I'm so sorry, but you're going to have to just talk about me. I can't do it.
Yeah.
And she phoned me up and she was like, actually, no, you can do it. She's like, let's meet and you can read it to me and you'll be fine. And she did that. She actually met me and I read her my script once or twice. And then on the night I was able to do it. And now I can host events and I don't even need my script.
Yes.
So it really is a learning thing and you can do it. And I think it's just to believe in yourself and to put yourself out there. It's hard. But if you want to start a business and you want to do something and you believe in yourself and you're scared, just know that it's okay and just do it.
Yes, I love that so much. And it's so true. And I'm so proud of you now because really and truly, she owns her space now, and it's incredible just to see that growth. And I think that's what's so beautiful for any mom watching this to know that, wow, I can do this. It's the same thing as yourself saying you come from humble beginnings.
Yeah.
And so what was that switch? How did you identify and know that I know I want more for myself? I know I can attain such. What was that in you?
I believe that I've always had it in me, right? That edge, that desire, that flame, right? That was pushing me to be better and to be more. In fact, when my mom tells me about how I was growing up, I was always a child that wanted to be like Brenda Fassie, wanted and mimicking and doing the dance moves, and wanting everyone to watch me. So I think I loved the feeling of being great, right? And I believe then when I was doing those things, it was me expressing that feeling of wanting the best for me, right? And I mean, I come from an environment where it's full of teenage pregnancy, drugs, and all of that. I come from the location, right? But every day it was a matter of a choice. I had to make a decision every day that I do not want to be this person. This is the way that I want my life to become, because I want better for myself. And eventually I wanted to contribute to my community as well, to say it can be done. Someone from Street Zwide in Gqeberha can make it. So that was always the drive for me. Yeah.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
How powerful is that, you know? But also that you've just said, and I think accountability is so important for anyone in their lives, that it's a choice. It's a choice you make every single day. And life goes by, you know, whether you choose to do good or otherwise, or if also just knowing that you'll make mistakes and to overcome such, and it's okay, you know. Every day is a new chance to do something incredible. There's something in the waters as we didn't just.
Yes.
We
love that. Yeah, representing.
And so you guys were obviously once these younger ladies, you know, before the kids. What was that life like? How were your lives before that? You know, how did you manage to navigate your lives? For example, someone like you, Rechelle, what were you doing before Motherkind? Yourself as well, just all these businesses you have. Who were you like? Like, how did you become the person you are? And when I say that, and why I'm emphasizing that so much, is just so any young person, because I get a lot of young people obviously on this podcast as well, who one day may want to become mothers, as to how do they navigate their lives and build on this trajectory or legacy or whatever the case may be. So how did that look for you guys?
For me, it was just the happy childhood, like right in me. And knowing that one day I would like to build a family for myself, and what will then that look like. And I knew that with the decisions that I have to make on a daily basis will then be consequential to how am I going to raise my kids. So I was very intentional with how I'm growing up, with the surroundings, and with what I wanted to do with my life. So education was a big part of it. I went to varsity, finished my degree, having worked, because that was always the thing. Like you have to go to school, you have to study, you have to get the qualification, and then you have to work.
But how, Noma? How you saying that, for example, your parents, you know, you come from the background you do, they tried their best.
Yeah.
How do you then go to university? How was that even like possible?
Yes. So fortunately, my dad started a business even before I was born. So literally, I grew up in an environment where my dad was running businesses. So we had one supermarket, it grew to 5 supermarkets. So we were known to be the girls from the cafe shop, right? So that's how we then grew up. They created that environment for us. We were able to explore with our talents, right? And we did everything. I did modeling, I did tennis, I did all the things that I wanted to do. My sister is more of an introvert, and I am an extrovert. So I was the one that was always in trouble, always doing these things, always getting the beating and all of that. But it shaped me to be the person that I am. And I think because I come from an environment where there was a mom and a dad and they were married. So that shaped my family structure. So I knew that one day this is what I want to do, to create such an environment for my kids where they can grow up with their mom and dad. And I had to wait. I had my first child outside marriage. That was a big blow for me, because that's not how I imagined my life. But those are the lessons that you have to, sort of the hard lessons that you have to sort of embrace along the way, to say like that life is not linear. The journey is full of surprises. And what's important is you have the tenacity to embrace each and every challenge that comes your way. So I moved on from that, met my husband, we had children, we grew up this family, and that's how it began.
I know a lot of young moms, you know, who are so hard on themselves and just think, oh my gosh, life has stopped. I have this child, or this is my scenario, and I don't deserve any better. And it's just not true. And we've had so many guests where really and truly, yes, whatever the case may be, but you can always carry on, you know.
In fact, that was a driving force in my life. Exactly that. The fact that I have this child. I mean, I was actually telling this story to a friend of mine that I just met. And then I was telling her that, you know, when I first bought my first car, the driving force was my child. When I learned that I was pregnant in January, in June, I already had my car. Because I knew I am not going to be transporting this child with my hands.
Yes, yeah.
I needed a car. I was already working, had a medical aid, so I was able to provide for my child. So I'm trying to say that was the thing that drove me to be better, right? To be better than I was yesterday. And that's what I strive for every day.
I love that attitude as well. Just, you know, taking those challenges, or somewhat what people may view as challenges, but are actually blessings. And like I was saying earlier on, I always speak to a lot of females as well who think, oh, well, I don't know, life stops here. But it's a driving force. God doesn't make any mistakes. There's no such thing as a mistake, you know. It's always a blessing, and knowing how to make whatever the situation may be positive. What you've said is so profound, and I hope mothers just listening to this are like, I can do it no matter what the circumstance is. And Rechelle, you as well. I mean, before Motherkind, was there any business you were driving, or do you just...
So I think if I had to also go back, I think I also grew up in a home with my mom and dad that were married. But of course, like I'm sure many even marriages, there was, you know, hard times in our family, and you know, struggles, and even seeing like my family struggles and my parents' struggles, it did push me to want more out of life, and to want to be the best version of myself. And I think, you know, being brought up the way I was brought up is to be kind, to be loving, and to be, you know, gentle to everyone around you. But even so, I try that. But even though there are challenges in your marriage, there's challenges in your family, there's financial challenges, and I think being brought up knowing that it's okay and you can push through those things. My mother and father both worked, and I was brought up with my mom being a working mom. Like, she didn't have help, so there wasn't somebody to fetch us from school. She had to do the school runs and work and run a business. And I've watched how hard she worked. And I mean, even today, she's a granny, obviously, to my children and my sister's kids, and she still works. My mom still works, and she still works hard. And I think a lot of that motivation from my mom being a hardworking mom has motivated me to be a hardworking mom. And I think I also want to show my children that as a mom, that you should work, and that you should be able to stand on your own 2 feet as a mom. I think that it's a good demonstration to the kids, for them to see that you work. So yeah, before Motherkind, I finished school. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I got told I needed to study law, so studied law for 3 years, hated it, ended up dropping out of law, and then went into the more creative side, and I actually did graphic design and photography. I loved that, but still couldn't really find my feet and figure out what I wanted to do. And I started a few other small businesses. I had like a promo agency with a whole bunch of promo girls, and we used to run activations. But my first business, to be honest, was called Eurobaby. I hadn't had a baby yet, but I had a love for baby clothes and for baby things. And I used to sell all these baby things at all these Mama Magic expos. And so I've always been entrepreneurial, and I've always tried to make my own money. You know, like even after school, had to wait before I got a car, had to buy my own car, like all of those things. I think it's just motivated me. And then when I started Motherkind, obviously I was married, I had my children, started Motherkind, had Eurobaby up until then. And then Motherkind was really, really a personal passion project. And I think I've just been so blessed with such an amazing product that, that it's grown into such a beautiful business.
Amazing, right? And I think also something just spectacular is the fact you've opened up to me before that, you know, your schooling experience wasn't the best. And you did say somewhat, you know, you struggled in school. And to see the person you are today, and I know a lot of people see themselves in that story as well, that it is possible, that school doesn't define you as well, you know, that if you just keep going, keep trying, whether it's graphic design, okay, maybe that doesn't work, opening a business, maybe that doesn't work, okay, getting the right business as well. But how do you get that? Where does that bravado come in? Because, you know, I also, if I'm a young mom looking at you, it's like, yeah, but how did she get over all of that?
Gee, I think, one, it's believing in yourself and just telling yourself that it's okay to put yourself out there, and also that it's okay to make mistakes. Because often we're too scared to start something because we're scared of failure or we're scared of that mistake.
Yeah.
But honestly, if you just put yourself out there and you start, you never know what can come of it. So I really do think that for young moms specifically, that are in that position or in that time now in their lives where they're really wanting to do something in the business world for themselves, just to put themselves out there and to, I know it's hard being a mom to juggle business and being a mom, because being a mom's a full-time job, but just to do it, just to put that first foot forward and put yourself out there.
Yeah, where it's just step by step as well, and not to see the big picture, just doing something every day.
Dear mothers and value members of the Motherhood Network, this is a gentle reminder to sign up for our newsletter. And while you're at it, please don't forget to click the like and subscribe button to ensure we continue to give you quality content you deserve. Plus, stay tuned for details on our Mother's Day 2026 event. It's going to be absolutely spectacular and something truly special. The Motherhood Network, a platform you deserve.
Listen, you've won so many awards. Any business award, I will always see you there, which is just incredible. Like you say, you, this lady who comes from Eastern Cape, inspired obviously a lot by your parents, but also just you always had that confidence. Then you get into the big good world, I'll say, of Johannesburg. It's been kind to us.
Yes,
Let's be
it
grateful.
has been, yeah.
It has been kind to us. But the city of gold, where everyone is a business person, everyone's an entrepreneur, you're a young mom. What do you have that's different, and how are you going to make it? But you just believed, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I must share the story that when I came to Joburg in 2010, I was not a business person, right? I had started something in P at the time. It was a supply and delivery company that I had started. It failed. It was called Alvospex, and then I opened another company because I wanted to warehouse paper. Just because at the time everyone we were not transitioned to digital, so everything was paper based. So I wanted to help organizations to store their paper. So I wanted to open this warehouse. That failed as well. So that's a second business while I'm still in corporate. So I transitioned because I was promoted at a head office level, right? I was an HR manager at the time, so doing national HR management responsibilities at one of the Bidvest companies. So I worked until about 2016. Then I transitioned. So I have paid my dues. I was 12 years in corporate, started at Coca-Cola as an HR graduate, and then my last position was at Bidvest as an HR and transformation director. So I had learned communication skills. I had learned professional ethics. I had learned professionalism. I had learned how to corporatize a company. So by the time I transitioned, I had all the necessary skills and experiences to like my base was already at another level, yes. Right? And I say to people, I will never take my corporate experience for granted. I am not those people that are going to say, oh no, I did it on my own as an entrepreneur, etc. No, corporate played a pivotal role in my trajectory as a businesswoman, right? From corporatizing the business to understanding failure and to understanding how I work with people. So it's been a transition. It's not been all rosy. Yes.
Yeah, and that's so important what you said as well. And what I'm hearing from you guys is that, you know, any skill you kind of learn along the way is important and will be valuable later on in your business. And that's so important as well, because I think sometimes, you know, we may not be doing the most ideal job or job we like at the moment, and we may think, well, this means nothing, you know, why am I here? Whereas it is a skill that you'll need, you know, and a tool, you know, and it gives you that edge somewhat, and that's why you guys are where you are. let's get into the mommy stuff.
Yes.
I'm loving this so much. I'm so inspired already. But let's get into it. Ooh, identity and balance. Ooh, when people say balance, like, what do you mean balance? We don't balance. But as best as we can, and I think to maybe phrase this in a more fair way, you know, is motherhood often shifts our identity, and in a big way, of course. How did it do that to you guys, and how did you manage to march on and somehow, you know, try get your dreams, try to make it something tangible, you know, see your dreams come into fruition? How did you manage to do that?
So I think with the balance, and obviously, you know, we have our mindsets and we have our dreams, but I think when you are a mom and you have a business and you have a husband and you're also trying to look after yourself, like your wellness and your nutrition, I see it as like 4 legs. There's 4 legs, but it should be a tripod. So if we can just concentrate on 3 out of the 4, we're okay. It's really hard, because if your business is thriving and you have it going, everything is going so well with your husband, you know, your relationship is perfect and your kids are excelling and you're being the best mom because you're doing absolutely everything that they're needing from you, like making the lunch boxes and getting them dressed in the morning and taking them to school and going to every activity with them and putting them to bed with 10 minutes of story time or whatever it is that makes you that perfect mom. And running your business, like being there all the time, 9 to 5, you can't do all of those things. And then looking after yourself, your nutrition, your wellness, maybe going to gym, maybe having some self-love, some self-time. You can't do all 4.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, well, at least with me, I always find that one of those 4 things is always like slipping. So if I'm not being the best boss at work and not being the best, you know, person I can be at work, it's because I'm really putting time and effort into my family and maybe my own, like, you know, health and wellness.
Yeah.
You know, and if I'm managing my work perfectly, then I'm not getting to the kids. I'm not getting them to school. I'm not getting them to soccer practice. And so somewhere I'm always dropping the ball. But it doesn't mean that you can't do it all. And I think a lot of people and a lot of moms or even husbands frown on us trying to do it all. Because, you know, I think it's always been that the women shouldn't try to do it all.
Yeah.
You know, the women must be at home and, you know, be the perfect wife and look after the children. But the truth is as women, we can do it all if we want to. So it's just managing, I think, those 4 balls and knowing that 3 are always solid.
Yeah.
And it's okay if one's slipping.
I hear what you're saying. I love also that, and I don't know if Noma you'd agree, where
Yes, definitely.
yeah, there's a sense also of not feeling guilty as well. I
Yes.
think where you have to forgive yourself. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, you touched on it very well. Number one, I don't believe in balance. I just believe that there's harmony. You're right, you must find pockets of harmony in all the areas of your life. And if a pocket of harmony now is work, go in, you know, be deep in it. And if the pocket of harmony in your work, in home, that's what is filling you in at that time, take that in, right? And also understanding that life is a trade-off. Right, you are going to trade off, is exactly what you're saying. Sometimes you will be at a peak with the business, everything is flowing, you're pouring so much because the business needs it.
Yes.
But you have to be, you have to embrace and be in acceptance of the ball that is going to drop. Right, you kind of you pouring here, but you already know on the other side that this one, but you have to be comfortable with the ball dropping. Right, so that's how I have been navigating my life, is that I'm comfortable with the ball dropping. I'm not picking up the kids, and sometimes I forget, you know, to buy the cupcakes, and my OP reminds me, or whoever, and sometimes I forget a parents meeting, or sometimes I'm late in a parents meeting, but I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm content.
Because you will pick up
with
that ball
because
when
I will
it
pick
needs
up
to be
when
picked
it needs
up.
to be picked up.
Yeah.
And prioritizing as well.
Yeah.
Right? I know what is priority. I mean, me being at a sport event, for me it's priority.
Yes.
Visibility, support, and all of that. But me forgetting a cupcake and forgetting a meeting or late for like that, for me is not. But just embracing and knowing that it is a trade-off, and one peaks, one drops, one drops, one peaks. And you must just be content with that, you know, juggling.
Exactly.
So the ball dropping, it's okay. You know, just choosing which ball as well. and then also just finding the harmony within those moments. I think that is so powerful. I was like, ooh, I'm going to church. I'm going to church. Speaking about business as well, then, do you then think, oh, I need to downscale my business? Do I continue wanting this to grow? But also, more importantly, and I know a lot of our moms speak about this, is how important is it to have a supportive husband? The husband in all of this, what role is that in terms of just having a business, having your dreams, attaining your dreams, being
So
this
important.
woman, right?
It's
And
so
how so?
important.
How so? I mean,
I
you've got
think-
powerful husbands, and sorry to
Thank
interrupt,
you.
like very powerful husbands on their own, you know, no business, do incredible things. How does that work? How do you create that harmony, you know?
Yeah, it's really important to have a supportive husband because you always know that you have that behind you. It's like, I always think of it as like a big male lion with the female lion in front. And the female lion can do what she needs to do. She can go on the hunt because she knows that he's behind her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yes.
for me, I know, and my husband supports me. He supports me in my decisions. So I'm very blessed. If I want to continue running my business and working hard, he supports it. And if I don't because I want to be with my children, he supports it. So I'm very blessed in that aspect. I married a wonderful man who's very supportive. But yes, I think having a supportive husband, and it's hard because there are some women out there who don't have that, and they have to juggle all four things without that support. But yeah, I'm very blessed in the fact that my husband is supportive.
It is extremely important to have a supportive husband. I'm blessed as well to be that and to have that experience. You know, my husband creates the environment for me to thrive. He's actually made it his intention to create that environment for me to thrive. Yeah. And he's got an understanding that, I think we once spoke about it, he's got an understanding that in life, people are blessed individually, right? And I cannot dim your blessing, and you can never dim my blessing. Yes. So if it is your time to shine at this point in time, I must support you to shine and thrive and do whatever you need to do, but we do it in a constraint of family, right? And the love and nurturing environment. And if it's his time to shine, I support him. I mean, I support him with the craziest things, and he supports me with the craziest things.
Yeah.
We've never like had fights about business or anything like that, because I know his strength, he knows my strength. We
He
just
wants the
flourish.
best for you and you
He
want
wants
the best for
I
him.
want the best for him.
Wow.
And yeah, it's just a beautiful environment to be in, and support is critical. Because I mean, even a small fight at home, like an irritation with your husband, when you get to the office, like everyone is irritating you. The minute you walk through that door, it's because it's from home. It's you projecting, right?
Right.
And you're feeling the world is coming down on you and everything like that. So that support then becomes the base, right? The base for you to show up the best possible version of yourself. It's critical for
Get
me.
yourself a supportive husband.
Get yourself a supportive husband. I love that so much. And thank you for sharing that, because it is important. And I think also just to normalize it as well, where it's not an anomaly to have a husband who's supportive. We're seeing it more and more, and it's so beautiful. And we do thrive. We do better when we have these supportive guys and advising us all the time. Because, I mean, I'm sure you guys know.
Strategist. Behind the scenes, we are strategists. As much as you are the face. So I call myself the face, and he's the strategist. So he like pumps, fuels the fire.
Right.
And then I'm up there shining, and then he's fueling the fire. Yeah, he loves
man.
amazing.
Isn't it the best though?
Yeah.
There's a sense of calm, comfort, and you're like, you know, you've got my back.
Soft landing.
Soft landing. And so for your kiddos, right, for your kids, how do you guys explain what it means to be a mom in business? I know a lot of moms, you know, whether we do school drop-offs and pickups, there's that constant guilt. And I always tell them, I don't know, my memory, and I don't know if you guys can agree to this, I remember loving the fact that my parents worked. I was inspired by them. And so, you know, a lot of them will walk in and feel guilty somewhat. And I just say, no, but I remember being that kid who was inspired and like in awe. Do you bring them into the business? Do you show them the business? You know, just explain to them that this is what mommy does. So they really understand the concept of like, oh, okay, that's why sometimes mommy comes late. Mommy has to travel, you know, mommy's busy.
Yeah, I think as moms at work, we do have that mom guilt, definitely, and that's not going to go away. But I even feel like if you didn't work, you might have mom guilt because there's always things. But yeah, I do include my kids in my work. In fact, it's quite cute. They love coming to the Motherkind headquarters. They love it. They know who to go to for what. If they want to, play fun things, they'll go to Baraka and Sibu, and if they want to get fun drawing things, they'll go to Zuzi and Bianca because they'll like print out things for them to color in. So they love coming to the office because they know the team, and they'll go into all the different areas of my space and keep themselves busy.
Yeah.
They drive me mad when they come there, but it
you
is
always
cute.
feel like, oh no, you're overdoing it. Don't touch, don't do this. Yes.
Leave them alone. They've got to do their work. But we've got to let them come. We've got to let them experience it. But they do, and I do feel like it was interesting. You said that when you were a kid, you felt proud. I think I also remember that of like, for example, my mom and dad working. So I do think, although they do make you feel guilty as well, they'd be like, oh, you're going to work and not spending the day with me or whatever. Like now in the holidays, I know it's coming. But the truth is I also do think that they're proud. I also do think that they're proud to know that mommy has a business and mommy works.
Yeah, I concur. Exactly the same for me. I believe that the way we show up every day is an expression of the life that we live. So our kids has to be involved in some way or the other. I do bring my kids to work. Isi, my daughter, loves going to work. Maybe when are you going to take me to work, etc. Because someone there in my office is going to give her a sweet or is going to talk to us, give her all the attention. And recently, actually, I had my elder son coming to the office. I think they were on a week break or 2 days break. I can't remember now. They were writing exams, so there's that gap. And then he came to the office, and I said, no, you can come study with me today. He was writing accounting the following day. And I actually had my head of finance sitting with him for 2 hours to help him to solve accounting complex questions and
It's
whatnot.
amazing.
Yes, and in my office. So it's just a collaborative effort in raising children, I guess. Yeah.
Wow, that's so incredible. Can you imagine as a kid having that? How amazing.
And they like to take a picture by the logo.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
But you see, there goes that pride where you're proud of what mommy does, right? And so now just in terms of preventing burnout, what systems do you guys put in place for you as mothers now? We see the kids, we see the husbands. How do you prevent such a burnout, because it's a lot that's happening.
It is a lot. It is a lot. And I think if we are not intentional by taking care of ourselves, we will be burnt out. So I like time out. I really do. I make time for myself. I make time for my kids. I make time for my husband. So I always try to juggle those balls in understanding that time for me is important. I love Pilates. I love yoga. I love horse riding, as we have discussed offline. And I think that the older I'm growing, the more I'm appreciating in doing these things alone. Like I don't take anyone, like I don't take my friends, I don't want to tag along. At the beginning of the year, I started running 10-kilometer races. I never told any of my friends. I just registered, run this race on a Saturday morning, come back, and then it's fulfilling for me, right?
Wow.
And it sort of brings me to my thoughts, grounds me, centers me. So anything that has to do with centering me and me doing it alone, I love. Of course, I love my friends. I love social time with my friends, girlfriends, etc. But I think I'm getting to appreciate time alone. It just does. I don't know about you, but for me, it just does something.
Yeah. It's powerful.
Yeah, for me as well. I think I sometimes do feel like a little bit overwhelmed with everything. And then my way of like just calming myself is actually just to be on my own. It can be something like literally at 3:00 in the afternoon, closing the door and having a bath. I enjoy it, and then I can get back onto my meeting at 4:30 if I need to, but sometimes just taking time to myself for myself. it does just stabilize me. And I think I liked what you said, like centers and grounds you. And I think we need that because we're so hectic. It's okay. It's okay to take that time off and to do that by yourself. But yeah, I also do enjoy spending time with my friends. Yeah, but I think it is important not to burn out, to be able to, it's hard to schedule life when you have so much going on, but yeah, to prevent burnout, just to tell yourself that it's okay to take a little bit of time out.
It's so important. And spiritual connection is a big thing in my life.
Yes.
I don't start a day without connecting spiritually with God. So
That's the most important.
It's my ultimate.
Yes.
Everything else falls after.
Yes.
It's my ultimate. I mean, it grounds me, right? Whether I'm reading a Bible, whether I am in prayer, it's just, or in worship. That's how I start my day, and it just makes it all okay.
Yes.
Right.
100%.
And it prepares me for the hurdles that I'm going to, experience throughout the day. So it's just the one thing that I can never do without.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's so
absolutely.
true. We all need that spiritual grounding. Hey? Something else, though, that I know a lot of us mothers feel afraid to speak about is wealth and power. You know, it's like, it's so normal for men to, amass this wealth and, this is my legacy. And so we kind of shy away from it. And you're seeing that turn and change, where we're normalizing the fact that you can amass this wealth. You can do well for yourself as well. How do you view wealth, and are you unapologetic about it? Because I feel like we should be in this area where, yes, as mothers, you can buy the dream car you want, or the house you'd like, or a legacy that you leave for your kids, whatever they may look like. It may be something as small as an ornament that you've always wanted, because wealth looks different to different people, But why shouldn't we be ashamed of it, Why should we be proud of our wealth that we amassed, that we can as mothers too be proud of this?
So I think it goes hand in hand with you work hard for what you have, and I think wealth it's a funny one, because you can be wealthy in many different things, not only financial things.
Yes.
There's many people in the world that I think are super wealthy in terms of financially wealthy, have all the money, have, I don't know, probably all the best cars, the best house, but they're not happy. They're so unhappy. So to me, they're not wealthy.
Yes, yes, you're right.
And I think wealth to me is this thing that we're trying to balance, is trying to be wealthy in everything, by being the best wife, by being the best mother, by being the best member to your community, by giving as much as you can, by being the best person you can to your team. I think a big part of me and my business is me and my team. I only want people that are in my team that are happy and thriving, and that they feel that this is the place they want to be every day as well. So I think wealthy for me is a collection of all of that, and then also being wealthy in, yes, being successful, and being proud of what you've achieved. But yeah, it's definitely a collection of everything for me.
Yeah. Wow, it's such a loaded question, right? When we talk about, and I mean, we see it play out in our societies, right, as we're navigating life. And the biggest part for me about wealth is understanding what is money to me. When we talk about the monetary wealth, what is money to me? What does it mean? Is it an enabler, or is it the thing, right? But for me, is having that distinction and understanding that money is it's an extension of God's love onto my life in terms of provision, right? So therefore, how I treat it as such. Right? There's an element of humbleness, but there's an element of embracing the gift that God has bestowed on me, which is monetary at a given point in time, and His purpose for that. So that distinction for me is very important. And also I equate wealth with rest, sort of. And I think about how, God made everything on earth at the beginning of creation, created everything, and then on the seventh day He rested. And He was resting because He needed to appreciate and have an understanding of what He has done. So wealth is exactly that. You need to step back and see that all the hard work, all the troubles, all everything, all the process that you've gone through, but now you can see something tangible at the end, and then you are able to appreciate it. So we have to take time to acknowledge where we come from. And sometimes wealth is a product of the processes that we've put in. And there is no way that you cannot embrace it, because you know the process that you've put in, and you have to take time to embrace it and say, this is my hard work. This is a result of my hard work and everything that I put in, and therefore I have to appreciate it. And also is an extension of God's love upon our lives, that he would have given this wealth or this thing to anyone else, but he decided to give it to you. So I feel like how you use it and how you embrace it and the relationship you have with wealth then distinguish how you show up in life.
I love that.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful. And so what are some of the misunderstandings when it comes to mothers in business? You know, what do you find are some of the hurdles? Or just, stereotypes sometimes,
I think just, that, the women shouldn't be CEOs, that women shouldn't run their own businesses, that we should be moms at home. And sometimes we want that as well.
Yeah.
Like, I'm even, at a point in my life and in my business where I'm toying between that decision.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. It's like I'm not alone. Okay, I'm thinking about those things.
It is.
And I think
But I'm
that's
thinking
okay.
sabbatical.
Yeah.
I was thinking sabbatical.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, maybe I need sabbatical. Sorry to cut you, but I could relate.
No,
It
but
really
let's have a
is.
moment for that. Then let's
Yeah.
let's sit into that moment, because I think that's important. That sometimes you do want to take a break sometimes, or maybe just
And I think by having people in your businesses that you trust and that you feel can basically do what you do without you, and that's okay. It's still your baby, and and it's okay if you want to take a step back to rather spend time with your children, because you're watching them grow up and you don't want them to just grow up without you. And I think sometimes, and I'm sure you're the same, when you're so dedicated and so invested in your job and in your career and in your team and your business and whatever it is that you're doing, it's so hard to find that balance and take a step back and also spend quality time with your family because you're so invested. So sometimes you don't need to necessarily find that balance, and it's better just to say, you know what, actually I'm taking a break of the work and I'm actually going to focus here now.
And it's okay.
And that's okay. Yeah.
Norma, you feel the same way?
I do feel the same. I feel, and sometimes you kind of feel guilty, but you have to understand that these are the things that we have to do. So sometimes I do take like 2 days. I'm out of work. I'm just focusing on my kids. I'm dropping them off. I'm picking them up, because and I mean, your children will tell you what they need when they need it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can feel when the child needs it at that point. You're like, okay, 2 days off, I'm out of the office, I'm going to pick you up. So she even says, Mommy, today I don't want my au pair to pick me up. Can you pick me up? Then that's when you know that it's time. So you must take those cues also from your kids and not assume that because we have been doing it like this, therefore that's the rhythm. I mean, we have to adjust and be agile around that. Just listen to
listen to your
kids.
children.
Yes, listen to your children, because they're communicating a message.
Agree.
Definitely.
Ooh, what I loved what you guys have already normalized is the fact that you are important.
Yeah.
So how important is your health from a practical perspective for you too?
I think the good old saying of you can't pour from an empty cup is important. As much as I know we do it, because we do it. But it is true that you do need to take time for your own health. You do need to watch what you're eating. I think a huge thing, at least what I believe in, is your gut health. If your gut health is centralized, your whole body can function. So I love collagen, obviously.
Yes.
But I do believe that collagen does help your gut, as well as numerous other things. But eating healthy and getting the right nutrition in order to feel good, not to be sick, helps you to be a better person, whether it's being a better mom or a business leader. You need to be able to look after yourself to be able to give the most. And even, looking after your hair, looking after your nails, looking after your skin, all of those things are so important to be able to be the best version of yourself to everyone that you need to be there for.
It's so powerful, yeah.
So true to the notion that your health is equivalent to your wealth, literally, because you can create all this wealth, you can have all this blessing, you can have everything, but if your health is compromised at a certain point in time, then you will not be able to enjoy all these blessings that you have. So for me, prioritizing health is key, is number one. And I mean, the older you grow, collagen is number one on the list. I think I was 30-something when I heard about it, and then everyone was talking about it, and you know, I'm so happy that yes, I'm so happy that I was telling her off camera that I now found a brand. I'm a loyalist, so count on me. Yes, so health is important. Eating healthy, going to the gym, and just stimulating your mind. Whether you're reading a book, taking a bath with a glass of wine here and there. It's all those things are important. Guys, we are whole beings. We are literally whole beings. We are not parts of or parts of. You have to have your mental stimulation. You have to have your physical stimulated. You have to have your emotions stimulated. So all these areas, and they work nicely because they make you to be a whole person.
And I'm loving the difference. You know, you're seeing it in the generations where, and even my mom will comment where she says, I love how you guys are putting yourselves first, where you need to, you know, really like putting that effort, whether it's your health, you know, and just you in general, even from an aesthetic perspective, like you're saying, doing your hair, doing your nails, you know, and being unapologetic. Oh, I was at the salon doing my nails. And you know,
and I love those moments.
Right?
I love going, I love pampering myself. Like, I mean, it's
important.
so cute, it's beautiful.
And I think to any mothers out there, however that looks like, you know, whether it's just taking a longer bath than you usually would, you know, or getting your nails done, you know, it's so important to do so. It makes you feel better and grounded, you know, and regulated as well, and just ready to take on the day.
And it's also showing your daughter or your son how important it is, you know, like hygiene, brushing your teeth, washing your face, small things like that. They watch us and they want to be like us. So if we're not doing it, you can't expect them to do it.
No.
So it's very, very important to look after yourself, because you're showing
you only
them.
have one you.
Exactly.
You only have one you.
Exactly.
So you have to look after that self. Love it.
And it's okay to put yourself first.
Yeah.
In order to put everyone that you love first, you actually have to put yourself first.
I actually say the where you say your cup must run over. It must just overflow.
Yes.
There must not be any effort. Once you start to see that, like you're putting effort in things, then you start to question what is it that you are not feeling in yourself. Because it must just be natural overflow, because you are depositing in yourself continuously. So it's critical.
Overflowing, I like that.
Overflowing. You guys overflow with humility. I think that's something I love so much. And of course, you've done so well for yourselves. And not once have I heard about you guys talking about the money you make, because you do. They make a lot of it as well, and they've done so well for themselves. But I think that's the difference for me. I see a lot of successful people who are humble, and that's key, and grounded in their spirits as well, and from a spiritual perspective. And that's what I'm getting from you guys, that humility is always at the forefront of everything you do. And like you're saying, it's not about monetary wealth. It's actually just wealth in terms of who you are, you know, your spirit, like we were just saying, your kids, your family. And so, you know, this question for me means the world to me, because you guys really inspire me, and I know you inspire a lot of people out there as well. In terms of a legacy for your children, what mindsets would you like to leave them with?
Well, first of all, I think you inspire everybody. You inspire me. So thank you, and that means a lot. But honestly, you inspire me so much, and you always have. I think if I had to leave my kids with a legacy, I'm not so sure exactly what legacy I'd want to leave with them, but if I could leave my kids with something, and it's something I speak about to them daily, and it's something I install in my workspace, is to be kind. For me, and it's not because my brand's Mother Kind, but I don't know, I just think it's important to give kindness all the time, and that doesn't mean that you need to compromise on yourself in any way to be kind. You mustn't be being kind that it affects you in any way, but I do think that we live in this crazy, hard, difficult world where there are people that you don't understand what they're going through. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know where they've come from. And you're sitting in the same room. The only thing that I think you should do is be kind, because that way you can give and learn and just be the best person. So for me and my children, for me the most important thing is I want them to be kind. And when they're not, they make me so angry.
And do like,
No,
don't do
kindness
that.
is key. I love that so much.
Yeah.
To be kind. And yourself, Noma?
for me, what I'd love to leave for my kids is salvation. And for I believe that everything flows from it. The kindness, the love, knowing who you are, knowing that life is a journey. You never arrive. You're always striving to become the better version of yourself. And that then grounds into salvation. If they know Christ, I know that I would have done my job.
Oh, goosebumps.
Yes, I agree.
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
So just to all the mothers watching who love and adore you, what would you like to say to them?
From me, I would like to say that put yourself out there and do you. Believe in yourself. Know that God has got a purpose for you and that He's got your back. And know that you are leaving a legacy for your children and that you only have one life here on earth and you've got to make the most of it. And that it's okay and that God's there, He's supporting you. And yeah, that's what I would say.
Oh,
So beautiful.
yeah.
So beautiful.
So beautiful.
Oh, what would I like to say to the moms out there is that you are the sanctuary. You are it. There is none like you. There will never be. Doesn't matter whether you turn left or right. There can never be any but you. Treat yourself as such, as that sanctuary. And from that, I know everything will flow in abundance in your life as long as you treat yourself as that sanctuary, whatever that looks like for you. But you are it.
You're unique.
No one else. There is no one else but you. And the way you are doing it, it's fine. It's okay. If you are learning, making mistakes, it's okay. Push on. Yeah, that's what I would like to leave to the mothers.
Oh, wow. Those words, I know to someone watching are going to change their lives forever. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
And just what I've learned personally from you two today is the fact that you have to forgive yourself. You will make mistakes.
Yeah.
You'll learn from them.
Yeah.
But guess what? Life gets better. You know, you also learn not to be as harsh on yourself the older you get. Like, this is part of the experience. And that you really conquered that, you know? And the Spirit of God as well is always there to lead you the right way. And it will all make sense. Right?
It makes sense.
And there's a reason why it's not working out at that time.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why it is not working out at that time. Sure, ladies, I cannot thank you enough. And I must tell you, our viewers have been asking for you guys to come on the Motherhood Network, really and truly. So that you're here is such a blessing and a testament to just your spirits and who you are. And thank you so much for honoring just your presence. And I know they'll be overjoyed that you guys have just, given us so much wisdom. I've learned so much. But may you continue to rise, continue to shine, continue to feed us, continue to just love our country with everything you guys do, with your businesses. And more importantly, may you continue to not only be incredible wives, but the amazing mothers you are.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for having us. It's such an honor.
Thank you.
For me to be sitting right here and having this engagement with you and Rechelle. So thank you so much. Thank you, ladies. It was so awesome. It was beautiful.
Thank you, and I can say the same.
Yeah.
Such beautiful women to
How
be.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, ladies.
I feel like I know you so well.
Oh, amazing. Oh, this is so good.
So good.
Woo. Thank you so much.
Thank you.